Today I've got a fantastic free project that you can print and play with, so let's get cracking. To make things zippy today, we're going to start with a template. Please type bit.ly/TPL26 and press enter. This takes you to a fantastic toroidal propeller launcher remix. This was created by ZDP189. It's based off a snap fit model by Manabin Lab on Thingiverse. As ZDP notes, if you choose to copy, make sure you credit Manabun Lab and use the CC by NC license. Of course, this is set to copy and tinker, so don't forget the golden rule of Tinkercad. Give a reaction before you copy and tinker. When it opens, it is in flat view. You can see down here, this is what the STL looked like online. That is just showing you how perfect this was built. I'm going to hit delete because I do not need that. All I want are the Tinkercad parts that we can ungroup and explore. If we check the notes, you can see this is a link to where you can find the real project. And then right here, this just mentions these are all hand-drawn in Tinkercad. Notice if you double-click, you can see the parts that were put in place. You can tell these are sketches. When you click outside, they regroup so you can see the entire part. Now, of course, I have already printed this. I'll show you those tests in a moment. What I wanted to show you first was how this sweet propeller was created. Before I show you how it's made, though, let's get it started printing. I'm going to grab it all, and I'm going to choose Export. And I want to export the selected shapes. Notice if it takes too long, you can back out. It should never take more than 60 seconds. When I re-enter, it actually saves where it was in the queue. I'm going to grab everything again, and I'm going to choose Export STL, and then you just have to wait a moment for it to finish. And there it is. I'm going to put it in my 3D modeling folder. I'm going to get rid of copy of. I'm going to get rid of the word remix, and let's save the changes. I'm going to quickly bounce to Bamboo Studio. Let's create a new project. In the 3D modeling folder, let's grab that propeller launcher. I'm going to print this today with the 0.2 standard settings. I want the Bamboo PLA Basic. Let's hit Slice Plate, and check it out. It'll be done in about 2 hours and 15 minutes. Finally, print plate and send it for 3D printing. All right, so here's the cool thing. ZDP shared how this was made. Of course, first we've got a tube that matches the outside. Then we drew the tube that we're going to use for tracing. We've got a center post and we've got the connector. Now, what's slick about this is you can grab this and do Control D. If you rotate it 60 degrees, notice I'm just moving out and typing 60. Letting go, and if you do Control D again and again, you get this perfect shape for all your circles. ZDP then moved to sketch. Obviously, this is that end result, and then this is the sketch shape. If we double click this, you can click on the line. Notice it is just tracing this circle as close as it can. If we click on the corners, you can see these are broken handles. You can get in those by pressing number 3. These were kept perpendicular. Notice they move independently. I'm going to do Control Z, and we just followed the line, making sure we end at the hub, and then this one ended at the intersection. And then we simply repeated that process right down here. When you hit Finish Sketch, this initially had the number 10, and then it also had 0 for this. You'll notice then it is a straight part. By putting in that awesome 22, we all of a sudden get the sweet propeller shape that we're going to use for the rest of the project. As we move from this spot to this spot, we have deleted the lines, and then we simply draw a sketch with simple lines to cut it in half. I'm going to hit Finish that sketch. And then we could grab this single piece and once again do the shift select on this outside ring and duplicate, this time doing a 120-degree rotation before bang, we have got our awesome finished toroidal part. ZDP, that's fantastic. While we wait for that to finish printing, I do want to show you something else. If we back up to the Tinkercad desktop, click up here on the search and type HLMT23 and press enter. This is what I call the HLMT23 tag. Users share their designs every single day to this awesome tag. You can simply type that in or use the bit.ly to find it. When you type it in, it's sorted by relevance. I recommend you search by recent. As I said, projects from users all over the world, quite often set to copy and tinker. Of course, don't forget the golden rule at Tinkercad, give a reaction before you copy and tinker. Of course, I want to highlight all these amazing designs. There are so many. Please check them out. Give a reaction when you've got a moment. You never know just whose day you might be making. I'm also scrolling down because this is where ZDP first shared the fantastic design. Added bonus, there's also a longer puller and there are alternative propellers. These are the version 2 propellers, of course, set to copy and tinker. Don't forget, give a reaction before you copy and tinker. If you want to see all of ZDP's designs, you can right-click and open that in a brand new tab. He has a ton of amazing projects, and like I said a moment ago, they are almost all set to copy and tinker. An extra bonus of the tag is you can find my Tinkercad prop tutorial. Once again, a technique ZDP shared in 6 minutes. Using this tutorial, you'll make your very own propeller, and of course, these work with the launcher as well. After 6 minutes, you'll have this awesome little part. I do want to highlight one thing. Right now, if we peek under the ogive, this part is not as high as I would like it. Instead, if you make that 10 or 12, and you click outside, after a moment, the edit completes, and then when you put the propeller on the launcher, it'll have more grip. It's time for assembly. This is the first part you need to find. Notice this one, the arch goes up a little further than the lines. This one is flush, so it's going to go down in this way. We need to find our gear, set it in this slot, and simply line that up and push it through. Notice when you've got it all the way through, it'll sit just like that. Now we can find the part with the larger lip, and it simply slides over and aims that direction. So you've got these two holes in the back totally lined up. Find your gear. Snap it on. Find your other small gear and put it in place. Find the lid or the cap, and this one presses through with the peg sticking up. You'll notice it's got a nice lip to hold it in place. Then I'm going to slide the gear on. And then with the gear in place, we can finally push it through here. I'm going to get this rotated around the correct way. I can snap that in place. And we can finally push this through the bottom as well. With all your parts in place, we simply grab the locking pins and they slide across. That locks there. And then underneath, this one locks here. And then there's also one that locks on the bottom. Snap. You can test it by grabbing the zip and checking out that fit. Of course, ZDP made a longer one of these. You can print as well. I used a couple of printers to speed it up, and as you can see, works fantastic. All right, so with all the options in place and safety glasses on hand, let's do some flying. The steps are simple. Obviously, push this in, grab your propeller, aim it how you want, and pull. Add a different propeller, and pull. So as I wrap up, first, a huge shout out to Manabun Lab for creating the original project, and then ZDP 189 for taking that design and making their own version using Tinkercad. Of course, I had an absolute blast playing with this and making my own propellers in the other tutorial. Please, if you're living somewhere where you can play with this outside, I would love to see you share how it works outdoors. Right now in Michigan, it is too cold, so we will not have outdoor videos for a while. If you do make something awesome, don't forget you can share it with me. I am HLModTech on every bit of social media. Of course, if you're checking Twitter, I am HL Tinkercad. I do also want to quickly say thank you to everybody that supports me via YouTube memberships. Don't forget there are 3 different levels of support starting as low as $5 a month. With any level of support you get early access to video. I do also want to highlight there are members only posts. A massive shout out as well to everybody that supports me via Patreon. Love how that group is growing. We are past 350 members. It has a fantastic messaging area where you can ask questions, gain skills, post designs. Of course you can learn more with the bit.ly up above or the link in the description. Finally, friends, I want to thank you for watching. Don't forget every time you like, hype, share a video, add a comment down below, or click subscribe, you're helping HLModTech get just a little bit bigger, which absolutely makes my day. Friends, have a glorious day, and keep tinkering.